So, everyone, a greeting here from where are we?
We're in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, Africa.
And this is the TYPO3 Expansion Committee out on a mission. This is Matthias Bolt-Lesniak. I'm a board member of the TYPO3 Association. And who are you?
I am Daniel Homoroden. I am leader of the TYPO3 Expansion Committee.
And what are we planning to do here in Africa?
We are planning to put TYPO3 all over in each country for each community to support governments and to support the web development communities.
And with what result?
We will create opportunities, we will create great standardization on which all the citizens of the country should rely on to consume good information from their governments, and we will create support for jobs and the spirit of community and of open source to enter into Africa more and more.
Perfect. And there's like more presidents than I have fingers on my hand, and more ministers than I have hands and toes and everything. So anyway, that's what we're doing here while you guys are drinking beer and having fun celebrating TYPO3 version 12. Congratulations.
Have a great
So we can switch between this. We can switch between this view and this view. Apparently.
Okay, we should switch to the slides.
Oh, does that happen there as well? Oh.
Jem, I think we're
I thought
live.
that was just for us.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
No. That's a little too far back, isn't it? Is this going to be a problem? No? Okay. So here we are.
This one's not working as expected.
Thank you. We're getting the tiniest bit of feedback sometimes, but you're going to take care of us, right?
I think it's only my micro, if I'm getting it
Does
right.
that say something about... No, I think it's mine
It's
as well.
yours. Maybe we need some more distance in between.
You stay...
But I need to stay a little bit closer, because otherwise I cannot read. So maybe we need to switch. Or we're just... Yeah, it's going to work
Okay.
out somehow.
Microphone social distancing.
Let's just do it like that. That's going to work.
All right. So, I don't know where everyone else is. There are at least 4 other places. Stuttgart, the back of this room. Georg must be in Austria. Oh, hello.
There's Berlin,
Hello.
but she's not seeing us yet, I think.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I guess there's no sound hookups or anything.
Sorry. Yeah, that's good. Oh, the other ones are coming. That's great.
Ooh.
Hey.
Welcome, 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 welcome. So there's a ton of people with us around at least German-speaking Europe, and if we're recording or whatever, hello to the whole world, and we're being very international and speaking English tonight.
Yep.
I'm really happy to be with Luisa Fassbender. If anyone doesn't know her, where have you been? But community marketing coordinator for the TYPO3 community. How are you, Luisa?
I'm great, and I'm really well prepared because I got the info that we're going to do this presentation literally 30 minutes ago, so that's going to be fun.
Yes, but Luisa, you built this slide deck. It should be perfectly natural for you to take care of it, he said.
Yeah, let's hope that will work.
Right, it's open source. You get what you pay for. That's the basic principle that we operate on.
Let me get my beer.
Yes, great. And, right, free as in beer. So, we're gathered here today because we're reaching another milestone with the TYPO3 CMS open source project, and the version 12 long-term support is officially released. Hooray! The crowds go wild. Cool. And look, this project has been open source for, as any of you who can remember last week, 25 years, a terrific party at the GmbH in Düsseldorf. I have some details of it in my head still.
Good for you, I don't.
So we thought we would take 10 minutes or so,
Yeah,
15 minutes.
Let's say 15 to 20.
15 minutes to look at a presentation that Some people in the community, I had a very small part in it, Louisa had a very large part in it, putting together this slide deck. Everyone can download and use this slide deck to show other people about TYPO3. We've got a few, oops, so that's not the right thing. No, oh, it's a PDF, okay. Ah. Now you laugh, okay. So the idea of this sort of a presentation is that we can all download it and use it, whether the slides or the concepts, we can use it to present a good-looking, unified set of messages to anyone who's interested in our project, right? Is that someone who's thinking about working with a new project, who maybe would want to work with you? Is that a potential client who's choosing between different options? It's all a kind of a advertising brochure that we can all use. So we're going to tell you inspiring community-based, community software-based things, and then we're going to go through a few sections of where TYPO3 12 has been improved over previous versions. One of the things that I love about TYPO3 is how we can also call it feature complete, because we know that if you take TYPO3, you can install it, and for a regular client with a regular information-rich, interesting site, the core does 80–90% out of the box. We get to do the fun part for custom, and it's cool. It's hard to explain to the outside world sometimes that why are we still doing it if we've got all the features in there, right? So a deck like this helps us explain, even although it might do quote-unquote everything, we can make it better, we can make it faster, we can make it more usable, we can keep it up to date with how the web changes on us all the damn time. So
I think I'm feeling a little bit left out, so let me change back on stage.
you feel it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we just need
You
to make
need
sure
to be
we
in
don't.
the...
Yeah, I need to be.
Right.
I can read that, that's close enough.
Oh, okay, I have some glasses if you also...
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Well, let's go on. As you know, I'm not telling anything new, but TYPO3 can start really close. Let's do it like that. Can start really small and grow with your business, or you can start really big and grow even further, or even downsize if you'd like to. But that's something everyone knows, so let's get to the interesting part, which is TYPO3 version 12 LTS, or as we call it, the making of. So, how did we get here? We brought a little road to LTS, which shows how this version got into life. As you can see, the first sprint release was released on October 4th, 2022, so pretty much exactly 6 months ago. The first release was Release Your Power, which featured a couple of backend improvements, which we're going to go over later, so let's just keep it short. The second release was on December 6th, 2022, which was version 12.1, which was together as one, and that had a lot of other improved backend search modules, as well as the introduction of the incoming webhooks. The third release was 12.2 around the world on February 7th of this year, which featured a couple of improvements concerning internationalization and the introduction of strengthened password policies. Then we got to the feature complete, or the feature freeze phase, but we like to call it complete because it's not a freeze, it's just that the version is ready to go. And that was just a month ago. That was called freeze, and that basically just meant that we were feature complete, and we had the introduction of the outgoing webhooks, as well as the introduction of the content security policies. Yeah, and today, as you know, is April 25th, which marks the release of version... Yes, Daniel? Better? This one? Ah. Okay.
Oh.
Thanks. Okay, so we know that today is the LTS release, so we don't have to talk about that.
But you leave me to scroll.
Yeah. Okay, and what's also really important, as you can see, this version will actually be supported until the 30th of April 2026, and if you would like to even further the support, you can buy ELTS up to 2029, which is a pretty impressive number looking at that we're in 2023 right now.
Yep, and I am and have been involved in a lot of projects, and the fact that this open source package you can plan for 6 years with clients is a sales superpower, so good job, everyone.
And then I don't know if Benny is already listening, but he really, really loves the photo with him, with a statement of him. I'm gonna move again, okay. So, Benny really loves us using his photo with a statement that he didn't give, but this time I actually got approval, so it's fine to go. And as you know, TYPO3 version 12 concerning the incoming webhooks and the reactions, it's now even easier to integrate into your existing infrastructure, but we're also going to go about this in a couple of slides later.
Right, so next time when we build the deck, we'll write something Benny Mac TYPO3 core lead might have said in really small. Yeah? Cool.
It's basically just like, don't write anything bad about it, but you're free to go. Okay, let's talk some numbers. The entire release from start to finish took 569 days of contributions from 141 contributors, and I think there's a round of applause needed for that, for everyone who dedicated his time and money into the system. Jam, clapping into the mic isn't a good idea. Okay, and all in all, we had over 3,000 commits, which made this version possible. Go on. And we also have some more numbers. All in all, more than 18,000 files have changed in comparison to version 11. We have more than 320,000 things that were removed and more than 600,000 things that were added, which is pretty impressive. Okay, let's talk some highlights.
So, I'll talk big picture, you talk details. Yeah. So, when I'm telling people about TYPO3 out in the world, one of the things that I say that I think is has been great ever since it was launched is that the system is built with a back end and a front end separate. The integration layer is interesting, and now that it's optional, it's even more interesting. But the fact that we were, in a sense, headless and decoupled right from the beginning gives us great security implications and so on. But now with the APIs and the integration being even better in version 12, this lets us essentially sell the fact that whatever your system is now, TYPO3 can integrate with it, and whether it's pulling in data or whether it's producing business, doing business logic and sending it back out anywhere is a huge selling point. We can integrate with legacy IT systems, whatever they need, and that's, very valuable.
So let's talk features. As you know, we introduced the reactions and the webhooks module into the backend, and they can be accessed right in the backend as well. So you can either integrate your existing systems into TYPO3 to actually trigger things in TYPO3, or you could trigger things out of TYPO3 from TYPO3, making it just a little bit easier to integrate into existing systems.
And we can set it up in the back end.
We can set it up in the back end, and we even have some screenshots to prove it. Okay, so you have the really, really beautiful pink reactions module on the back there, and you can really easily, with a couple of clicks on the of a button, create a new reaction to talk to basically any system outside of TYPO3. Then you can go ahead and list all of the reactions that are currently in use in the TYPO3 instance. Good. Also, we have the purple webhooks module, which basically does the complete opposite, and you can edit all of your webhooks also directly in the backend and make TYPO3 communicate with other systems easier. And you also have a list of available webhooks, just like the available reactions. I love being prepared. Okay, then we also have the introduction of the message bus, which basically just enables you to communicate to different systems asynchronously, and a big marketing plus, so I love the last point. It just makes TYPO3 a lot easier to use within any kind of infrastructure you already have. You can integrate it into things like Zapier, or if this, then that, and so on and so forth, right, to just make your workflows a little bit easier. Right,
so event-based triggers from other systems, we can set it up to do things in our projects. Security, as I was saying, having the system separate is great. We're quietly proud of how few security problems TYPO3's had over the years, and how well we've done maintaining quite a hardened code base. And though surprisingly we couldn't reset our own passwords until, but anyway.
But we could do that in version 10. So.
Yes. I said recently, in old people time, that's not very long ago. So now within our installations, we can configure in the backend directly, just like you can expect from glorious systems like Microsoft Teams or Google Workspaces. We can set policies about your password has to be 8 characters long and include the letter B or whatever you think is secure. And the content security policies backend module sounds great. I have no idea how it works.
If you just click one more slide, I can show you. Yeah. Basically, something that needed to be done outside of TYPO3 is now also into the backend, or it worked into the backend, and you can just update and improve your existing content security policies right in the backend without needing to go into any other system or apply it from the outward.
And this goes towards my point at the beginning of TYPO3 being incredibly powerful out of the box and set to sensible defaults to get 80% of projects done right and quickly.
Yeah, and that's just another beautiful screenshot showing how activated feature toggles in the content security policy module look like.
It is a thrill a minute up here.
It is.
I'm so glad you're with me to do this, Louisa.
Me too.
Backend usability. Things look better, simpler.
Things look better and cleaner. That's really important. For example, the page module just got a couple of updates to make it look a little bit more user-friendly and easier to navigate. And then also we have a couple of file list improvements, which we're going to get into in a couple of seconds. So for example, after a lot of discussions and a lot of we really need this because everyone else has it, we now have a tile view and a drag and drop function, which is awesome.
It's going to make dealing with images so much better.
Yeah, you can actually see which images you're looking at, because if you're working for customers and a couple of them have like thousands of images in a folder and they're named like really weirdly after some weird scheme, it's hard to find the right picture sometimes, and that just makes it easier. Yeah, wow.
Tile previews. Oh, that's worth a round of applause, come on. Ah!
No clapping in the microphone, don't forget it. Yeah, and then we see the drag and drop in between folders in action, which is also really nice, because before, moving stuff from folder to folder was quite the pain in the...
Yep, so a little less clipboard, a little more drag and drop.
A little more
That's like a song lyric. I'm sure we could do a parody song.
Yeah, let's do that for T3Con.
With, a little bit of Monica, a little bit of... I'm sure we can work it on that.
Yeah.
Mambo number 5.
And then also just another screenshot showing how everything looks right now. You can actually change the kind of view you'd like in the file list right at the top. So you can say either, I would like to see the thumbnails or the clipboard or tiles or list view.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah, and then another big feature is the improved backend search. I think everyone here has already worked with the TYPO3 before, and the search was like, okay, if you were looking for something, you might have found it in a list, but this just makes it a little bit more comfortable. And you even have a shortcut, so if you press Command and K, it actually opens up in a module, which is pretty nice.
Plus the auto-completion in real time is pretty fun.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like. You get this nice model layer, which basically just blacks out everything else. You can type in your search directly in there, and your search results even get clustered after file type, result type, whatever.
Super nice. So, something that I've been preaching for 15 or 20 years, and I would love to see more in reality, is that you can set up TYPO3 for every client and every project and every role so that they can do their job better. And in TYPO3 version 12, you have hardly any excuses more not to do it.
Yeah, one of the things is that you can actually configure the visibility of different icons in the list view, making everything by default just a little bit cleaner. A lot of the stuff has moved into the second model layer. You have a couple of new admin panel options, which we're gonna not get into later, but you can see some screenshots in the release page, so take a look at that. We also have a new file mounts view, which we actually have a screenshot for, so we're gonna get to that. And then something that's pretty nice concerning DSGVO, so GDPR, right, is that you can actually configure a retention time for deleted records, making it easier to actually get rid of stuff that needs to get rid of.
Nice. As the registered data compliance officer for my company, that thrills me. because it's one less bit of
Thought
trouble.
you need to put into it.
Exactly, less trouble that I can get into.
Yeah, and something for people like me who need to actually set up access rights and configure them, even in really big installations with a lot of stuff that needs to be configured. It just makes it a little bit easier that you now have the view for the file mounts. So just like backend users and backend user groups, you can see the different file mounts which have been created, and you can add them to the different user groups right there without needing to go the other way. Yeah, sure. We also have a new module for the tsconfig module. Nothing more to say here. It's just a little bit cleaner than it was before, and we didn't have that. Yeah, let's just go on to the next version.
Yep.
We have the CK editor in version 5, which still has a couple of issues I heard, but they're onto it, so that's gonna improve soon-ish, hopefully.
Okay. CK Editor being another awesome open source project and friends of this project, so.
And as you can see, it just makes the rich editor, which we already have, just a little bit richer, and just, yeah, there's just a couple more options that you didn't have before.
Great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's just a short reminder where you can find the new backend modules in case you might miss them when opening up the backend. And then we can see how the page tsconfig functions.
This is stuff I never look at.
You created the slides too.
Yes, but
we just love the screenshot, let's just keep it that way. Yep, and then lastly, we also have a couple of new view helper and TypoScript possibilities. Let's just keep it at that. And we have more freedom for TypoScript. Yeah. Did we lose them already? Someone's
it's a thrill a minute in there. Jochen, how are we doing? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Jochen Weiland. Pink shirt in the red kitchen. Oh. Okay, what about all the Austrians there with Georg Ringer? How are we doing?
I think there's still a minute of delay, so
Okay.
talking louder doesn't help.
Cheers to technology and the internet, to open source, to community. I'm so glad to be with you here tonight. Thank you, Louisa.
Thank
to all
you.
of us, to all of you, to contributors. I don't know if they're... So the last, we didn't watch the last World Cup because it was terrible, but the one before that, I remember that we were watching the game feed on, say, cable, and our neighbors in the other side of the courtyard in the building were watching it on satellite. So we would see the goals 1.5 seconds before they would. And so we would start yelling and cheering really loud to spoil it for them. It was awesome.
Yeah, you can see they're cheering now. Like
Yay!
a minute ago.
Okay.
Okay, on we
So,
go.
you want to do an improvised limerick about writing TypoScript?
Yeah, I'd rather not.
So, translation and localization, very, very dear to my heart. Part of my origin story and how I ended up here today is because I worked as a translator, and I discovered that translating poorly written texts is harder than translating good writing, and so I learned to write well, and I turned into a writer and a communicator, and here we are, basically. I also speak a bunch of languages, so for me this is super exciting that we can set more versions of these language fallbacks. It's really important to support large e-commerce installations, for example, NGOs, governments, people in officially multilingual regions will really like this, whether it's North Italy, whether it's Belgium, and so on. This is really, really great. Plus, adding a new language in just 5 steps is really great, and it's a lot less confusing, and I tried this one out, and it's super cool. So, APIs and programming.
So now onto our really, really well-known facts.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we do have an enhanced backend module API for ease of use and better performance with a lot of more capabilities. We have the introduction of a couple of more PSR 14 events into the core. We have a better pagination API, and also we say finally goodbye to magic methods, making it just a little bit easier to use in the future. Yay.
So,
and many
there's
more.
so much more waiting for you out there. As we said, 6 full years of support is fantastic. We can really, really rely on our system and our roadmaps, and whether we want to do a skip version model, whether we want to keep people up to date. I'm a huge fan of this. I believe, Daniel, though it's not your show tonight, ELTS and partnerships and memberships are all getting a facelift right now at the company and through the association. We're really excited about those changes. Thank you for sharing those with us at events over the last couple of months. Would you like to say a word right now?
He has to say a word now.
Which word, though?
First of all, short interruption.
I'm a short interruption.
Yeah, our short interruption is a marketing guy. First of all, thanks Jasmina and Lolly for putting up the type of script stuff together. So that's a huge benefit that marketing guys can't really appreciate that much. But we will dive into that hopefully in short videos afterwards. And yes, I'm the guy you have to talk to if you want to talk about ELTS and other stuff, for example, like conference sponsoring, developer day sponsoring. I think I'm the one you should talk to. And by the way, we sold half of the Type 3 Developer Days tickets, so if you didn't get yours, you should probably. Back to the marketing guy.
Well, stop.
What?
Stop.
Week of August in Karlsruhe, right?
Yeah, Karlsruhe.
I think when we're talking marketing, we can also get a big thank you out to Rheinschafe for hosting today's event and giving us the possibility to even be here.
I think I'm covering their whole
Move.
roll up. But that's something for marketing.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So, please thank our hosts of the evening, Louisa.
And Dan.
No, I mean our
Oh.
hosts.
Fun. Okay, so Kai, do you want to come on stage and say a couple of things? You have to. Come here.
You're being volunteered.
Great, the hosts aren't even listening.
Well, I didn't pay attention at all, but yeah, I'm from the Rheinschafe. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for being online here with us. We are an agency in Germany, Duisburg, and we are really, really happy to have the party here, the stream here, you two here. Thanks for your great presentation.
Which you didn't listen to.
Yeah, really thrilled to try the new version, and yeah, I think all of our developers are thrilled too. So yeah, that's going to be a blast in the next weeks to try out TYPO3 12 in the ELTS version. We tried it out before, but now it is officially released, and yeah, that's going to be fine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us tonight. So everybody remote, we're going to see you clapping about a minute after I say this. So, upgrade today. I'm just getting used to playing with version 11, which is such a breath of fresh air. I suppose I'll get version 12 next year sometime when I get around to it. This is our wonderful URL. Back to the party mode.
And we're done.
And we're done. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good time. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. We'll be here all week. No.
So not all of us, so here, party mode. Not everyone could join us. I'd also like to appreciate a few guys out there who can't join a party, which is a video transmission we got from Africa, because Daniel and Matthias from the TYPO3 board are currently in Zimbabwe, and I think we have a greeting, right? It was always played. It was played? Can we play it again? Yeah.
Hey, who saw the tweet last week from the Harare user group meeting? That was cool. Do I have to do something?
Day, a great release party, and see you soon.
So, everyone, a greeting here. From where are we?
We're in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, Africa.
And this is the TYPO3 Expansion Committee out on a mission. This is Matthias Bolt-Lesniak. I'm a board member of the TYPO3 Association. And who are you?
I am Daniel Homoroden. I am leader of the TYPO3 Expansion Committee.
And what are we planning to do here in Africa?
We are planning to put TYPO3 all over in each country for each community to support governments and to support the web development communities.
And with what result?
We will create opportunities, we will create great standardization on which all the citizens of the country should rely on to consume good information from their governments, and we will create support for jobs and the spirit of community and of open source to enter into Africa more and more.
Perfect. And there's like more presidents than I have fingers on my hand, and more ministers than I have hands and toes and everything. So anyway, that's what we're doing here while you guys are drinking beer and having fun celebrating TYPO3 version 12. Congratulations.
Have a great day, a great release party, and see you soon.
Oh, it was a pause. Okay, well, look, to send us off into the rest of that beer fridge and buffet that we have here in sunny Duisburg, without gatherings like this, without people like you who are willing to invest time and money in giving your best ideas away to the rest of us dummies, right? We wouldn't have these open source communities. We wouldn't be helping internationally in Rwanda and other places. We wouldn't be able to sponsor people to make the world a tiny bit of a better place, model how democracy and meritocracy can work. So thank you all for being here. By drinking that beer, you are contributing to making the world a better place. Cheers, everyone.
No, I was just saying that my beer is still standing over there and I didn't want to ruin the live stream again. That's warm right now.
I really like to drink it at this temperature much better because it's like, it tastes better and it's much healthier for you. Every time he makes the same excuse, like no, I like it this way. He's